What's up, Zach? Thanks for sending. First of all, thanks for sending me this video. We'll see if we can break it down. One of the ways I'm going to break it down is also talk about some of the things that you think that you needed to change in relation to some of the things that I see, and some of the things that maybe you want to work on. And it's just a suggestion, obviously, and a couple other issues that you may bring up, like I saw you guys post based upon your jumps and your warm up. And then should you have jumped to 645 versus maybe take one in between? Me personally, each one of my warm-ups are getting ready for that next attempt. Each one, I mean, when I feel I'm ready, when I take that one warm-up and I feel that I'm ready, I'm going to make my jump. I'm going to take it. I don't think a 70-pound jump or 60, 70-pound jump is unrealistic, especially if you've handled heavier weights, or you've got the strength, and that your warm-ups have been good. You've been in great position, things have been smooth and everything else. Sometimes taking that one in between can tire you out, and you end up missing. So it's all based upon how you feel, how your warm-up goes. Each warm-up is getting ready for that next one. Getting your warm-ups, the whole design of your warm-ups is get ready for your heavy lifts. That's all they're designed to do, and that's why everything has to be the same from 135 to 700. So this way you have that muscle memory building up. Also, as far as taking too long on the bar, I don't know where that comes from. To me, it's just when you're ready to pull, you're ready to pull. You have your mental cues in your head. If it takes you normally 10 seconds to pull to get ready and go, and then now it takes you 30 seconds for some reason, there's obviously a problem. But sometimes just there's certain adjustments, there's certain feels you're looking for. It might take an extra second or two to get ready. Who knows? But to put a specific time limit on, to say, hey, I'm going to take 5 seconds all the time, well, that's great if you know how to get right into position all the time. But I wouldn't worry about too much, because I don't think that's where some of the problems were. When we talk about the deadlift, there's one key principle in the deadlift that always is a key, and you do it pretty well here, is no matter if you're conventional or sumo, your hips have to be lower than your shoulders, which they are. Which is good. That's always a key thing that you want to do, is you want to make sure your hips are lower. Your first thing you said, maybe you think you should have your butt down farther. I disagree with that, and here's the reason why. If your butt goes down farther, what happens is, if you look at your hip, it actually goes away from the bar and actually takes you away from that leverage point which you need. Okay, so it's not so much right now that you need your hip to go down more. What you need to do in relation to that, I like that your feet are straight, because this is what's going to help you do. Your feet straight is going to help you bring your hips back. That's what you need to do. You need to bring your hip back and then down into this position right here, okay? That's where your hips need to be. They're in perfect position. Your hips are lower than your shoulders. You're in good position right there. But what you just need to do, your back is flat. Back is pretty good. I mean, I don't mind so much that's rounded, because it's going to happen. I look for the thoracic area. Hang on here. Excuse me. I look for the thoracic area. So right there, it's pretty flat. I mean, the thoracic is a little bit rounded up top, but all the way down, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I would say that's actually pretty good. But in relation to what you're saying, it's not so much your butt has to be down. I would almost say with your legs straight, which helps you do this, by the way, with your legs straight helps you push yourself back. So bring yourself back more and then down. Now, what that's going to do, bring yourself back more and then down. As you can see right here, I'm going to attempt to draw a straight line here. Okay, that's your bar. Okay, well, look where your shoulders are at. When you got here to your knees, right here, because you didn't go back and you didn't get behind the bar, which is another key thing, conventional or sumo, you have to get behind the bar. You are now forward. Okay, you're forward, and that's why this happened. That's why you saw your hips shoot up, your back started the round, and then when your hips shot up, and that's when you said you locked your knees out too soon. Well, that's the reason why. That's the reason why you locked your knees out too soon, is because if you look at the bar, excuse me, wrong little fancy thing here. If you look at the bar, that's not where I want it. Sorry. If you look at the bar, you're forward. Okay? So, again, going back and then down will help alleviate that. Also, your knees. Make sure before we start, when you pull and you go back and then down, make sure your knees are going out. Okay? Spread your knees out. Let's see what other things you thought about. Your head, throwing your head back. It's not so much throwing your head back. What I look for is I want to see that spine in a neutral position. Okay? Throwing your head back sometimes can turtle you, which in other words your head's going to go forward and then back. So realistically, your head is forward just looking up. When your head's forward just looking up, where your head's forward, where's your body going to go? That's going to follow. So then it's going to push you forward. So think of it as, I would like to see that chin maybe back more, kind of into the bar if you had it on your back, almost like making the double chin. Pretend you're me and you have two chins and you want to mimic me and make two chins. That's going to help keep that spine more in a neutral position, and that's going to help keep your head back, which then your body's going to stay in a better position when you pull. Okay, so don't worry about so much looking up. Looking up sometimes can turtleneck us, which then in turn can make us go forward. Other than that, those are the key glaring things. I mean, you see your background in here, but that's that's good to be expected because you're forward and you're about to miss the weight, and that's just your body. There's nothing you can do about that. But like I said, we're gonna just kind of watch it slow motion here. Let's see how you did. Boom. Okay. Just remember, real key things. Think of it as 3 steps. Okay. Step number 1. We'll get here. Get you back in that position. Step number 1. I want to flatten my back. Step number 2. I want to have when my legs are straight like that. I want to push myself back. Remember, we want to use that bar as a focal point, right? I want to use it as a focal point, like a teeter-totter is the best way. That's the position I want to be in. We're not squatting the weight, we're deadlifting it. So I want to teeter-totter. So when I push myself back, I'm using the bar as a focal point. And then when I get back, then when the turnaround is going to make our shoulders behind the bar, when I get back in that position and down. So flat back's number 1. Flatten your back straight. You flatten your back out. Number 2, push your hips back. And as you push your hips back, number 3, go down. And when you go down at the same time, spread the knees. Hopefully that will help. Those are the glaring things that I've seen in relation to what you thought is seen. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, thanks for sending the video, and we'll talk at you soon. Later.